Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
Today we're digging into a really specific source. We've got the lyrics from Willy Kay's music video, Sinner's Heaven.
Yeah, and it's more than just song lyrics, isn't it? It reads like a kind of personal manifesto.
That's a good way to put it. So our mission today is really to get under the skin of that title, Sinner's Heaven. What does it actually mean?
Exactly. We need to do a bit of a forensic look here. Understand the, let's say, emotional and maybe even theological setup Willy Kay is describing. What's the actual structure of this place, this idea?
And the bargain he seems to be striking. I think that's what jumps out.
The bargain between what? Faith and...
Faith and just being human, I guess. Making mistakes, falling short. It feels like a really old conflict.
It is that tension between wanting to change, wanting redemption, but constantly bumping up against, well, our own failings.
But what's different here, I think, is how he frames it. It's not over a lifetime. It's this weekly thing.
Right, this 3-day cycle, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's the rhythm.
Okay, so where do we start? The beginning of the song feels very confrontational.
Yeah, it's like a preemptive strike, almost. He says, before you go and cast your stones, he knows people might judge.
Address the listener directly. I just want you to know, it's pretty raw from the get-go.
And he doesn't hold back on the specifics, does he? No vague, I'm not perfect.
No, it's blunt. I made mistakes. I've done some dirt.
And that line, I messed up and I see some hurt, that implies consequences, right? That his actions affected other people.
Definitely. So you've got this clear admission of past wrongs, real harm caused.
Okay, but then comes the pivot. This is where it gets really interesting. The central paradox.
The claim that he's changed.
Exactly. The man I am standing here today, I ain't the same person that I used to be. Sounds like a complete transformation, doesn't it?
It does. Like victory over the past self. Case closed.
But it's not closed, because right after that, he insists on this other identity, and this is maybe the key phrase we need to unpack.
Which one?
He says it multiple times. I'm still a sinner, and I'll never be S-A-E.
S-A-E, right. We need to figure that out. Phonetically S-A-E. You think saved.
Almost certainly. I'm still a sinner, and I'll never be saved.
Okay, wait. How does that work? If he's not the same person, if he's changed, why insist he's still a sinner and can never be saved?
Right.
Isn't that giving up?
I don't think it's giving up. I think it's more like redefining the terms. He's changed his actions, perhaps, left the old ways.
Okay.
But he's not claiming he's changed his fundamental nature. Being a sinner, for him, seems to mean acknowledging that the capacity for mistakes, for dirt, is permanent.
So if he said he was saved, that would imply the struggle's over. Perfection achieved.
Precisely. By saying, I'm still a sinner, he keeps the struggle front and center. It's an ongoing state, not something he's overcome. He's trying, but the potential to mess up is always there.
So being a sinner isn't like a phase he grew out of. It's who he is fundamentally, even the new version of him.
Yes. It's a permanent identity marker. He owns it. He wants you, the listener, to know that even when he's doing the right things, like being in church, that underlying nature hasn't vanished.
Wow. Okay. That contradiction, the changed man who is still a sinner and can't be saved, that's the heart of it then.
That's the engine driving the whole song, I think.
So if that's the core belief, how does it actually play out? How does he, live that contradiction?
Well, that brings us to the weekend, right? The structure he describes. That's the practical application of the philosophy.
The geography of sinner's heaven.
Yeah, exactly. It's this weekly journey between two very different headspaces, two different places.
Starting Friday night, you feel the relief kick in immediately. The week was long, but it's all right.
The escape hatch opens. And where does he go?
Sinner's he's back in a bot.
Bot. Gotta be bottle, right? Or maybe the bar, the pub. Some kind of secular sanctuary.
Yeah, a physical place for immediate relief.
Yeah.
Release from the pressure of the week, maybe the pressure of trying to be good, too.
Could be. It acknowledges that striving, even for something positive like grace, can be exhausting. Sometimes you just need the easy comfort, the bot.
A temporary man-made heaven.
A very human detail.
Okay, then Saturday rolls around. What happens then?
Saturday's different. It's active. It's communal. He's up at noon, loading up the PO.
PO.
Yeah.
Thing to pick up. Or maybe like a Polaris, an off-road vehicle.
Something like that. Sounds like getting ready for an activity, maybe with friends. He mentions calling on some barrel for wheel.
Getting the tires ready, rims. Sounds like preparation for Well, something fun and maybe a bit rugged.
Definitely external, not quiet reflection. It's about doing stuff together.
And he makes a point about appearances, doesn't he?
Right.
It don't matter whether in tatter.
Right. Come as you are. It doesn't matter if it's bad weather or your clothes are rough. It's about the shared experience, not the presentation. A different kind of acceptance.
A sort of secular communion.
You could say that. Very different vibe from where he ends up next, though.
Yeah, talk about a hard turn. After the bot on Friday, the PO and mud or whatever on Saturday.
Bang. Sunday morning.
Sun morning, I'm sitting in the same old pew.
Just like that.
And that cycle, bot, PO, pew, that is sinner's heaven, in practice. It's not a place you reach after you die.
It's the weekly grind. The negotiation.
Exactly. Living in both worlds because neither one apparently is enough on its own. The bot doesn't bring lasting peace, but the pew doesn't erase the need for the bot.
So the cycle has to repeat. He keeps going back to both.
Which suggests the core conflict isn't getting resolved, it's just managed.
Yeah.
Week by week.
Okay, if it's this constant back and forth, how does he square that with, the religious side? How does he justify showing up in the pew while still claiming the sinner title so strongly?
Well, that's the next layer. He builds a theological defense for himself.
He brings in the authorities.
Yes. He mentions the good book, famous lines, the whole framework, Testament new or own, golden gates. He knows the system.
And uses that striking image, red letters written on the page. That's significant, isn't it? For anyone listening who might not know, red letters in some Bibles are the direct words of Jesus.
So he's appealing directly to the highest authority, bypassing maybe church doctrine or interpretations.
Feels like it. It's like saying, my defense rests on what he said. It's a powerful move to justify this seeming contradiction in his life.
Okay, so what is the core of that defense? Because this feels crucial.
It hinges entirely on one idea, shifting the responsibility.
How so?
He basically says God understands his flaws because God made him. The line is, he knows that because he made me his way.
He made me his way. Wow, okay.
The implication is huge. He's not saying, I have these flaws despite how I was made. He's saying, these flaws, this nature, it's part of how I was made.
So the dirt is part of the divine design.
That seems to be the argument. It takes the burden off his willpower alone and puts it into the context of his creation.
But hang on, if God made him that way, flaws and all, why the struggle? Why the pew? Why confess the dirt at all? Couldn't he just say, hey, this is me, take it or leave it?
That's the tension, isn't it? He doesn't use made me his way as a license to just do whatever. It sounds more like a plea for acceptance of the person who is.
The person who struggles, who cycles between the bot and the pew.
Right. He's asking for validation of the real person, not some unattainable ideal. He's still showing up, still making the effort, still acknowledging the dirt.
So the argument is, God knows I'm flawed because he made me, and therefore my ongoing struggle, my cycle, is actually a valid way to live out my faith.
It allows him to hold both things together. I'm still a sinner, I'll never be saved, and I'm still showing up, I'm still connected to the good book and the red letters.
Yeah.
The struggle itself becomes the testament.
Okay, so wrapping this up, putting it all together, this deep dive into sinner's heaven.
It seems to be about this honest, maybe brutally honest, attempt to live spiritually without pretending to be perfect.
Yeah, acknowledging the need for faith, for redemption, but refusing to deny the reality of mistakes, the dirt, integrating both.
Finding a space where your commitment to the pew can coexist with your visits to the bot. Understanding that maybe that whole messy package is left down here for me.
That the real heaven isn't somewhere else later. It's navigating this space, this paradox, right now.
It's accepting that you might be improving in some ways, but still capable of messing up. Always.
Okay. So that leaves us with a final thought, something for you listening to chew on.
Given everything he says, especially I'm still a sinner and I'll never be SAE, never fully saved in that traditional sense, what does his return to the same old pew every Sunday really signify?
Is it just futile hope? Going through the motions, hoping for a change that his own words say can never happen?
Or is it something else? Could it be the most honest kind of faith? An acceptance that grace isn't about reaching a finish line, but about constantly engaging in the struggle, week after week, that the journey is the destination, dirt and all.